Welcome to the island, or as it's known in the rest of the world as Survive, Escape from Atlantis. This is Atlantis. It's beautiful, isn't it? This game is for 2 to 4 players, and each player will choose a people of one colour, green, yellow, red or blue, and their responsibility is to get these people off on the boats and onto the safety zones on the outskirts of the board. There are 4 of them. But unfortunately it's not as easy as that, because there are sea monsters, there are sharks, and there are beached whales. Well, there's no beach whales, but there are whales. And all of these things will be playing their part in the game to sabotage and make your life a misery. Game setup. Now, these tiles are interchangeable, so you can place these anywhere you want to make a random island, but as long as they conform to this shape. There are 5 sea monsters which start at the beginning of the game in these places. And then everybody will get their 10 people of their colour. Each of these has a number on the bottom. That is basically how important that person is. Either they're in the government or they're researchers researching the island. And what will happen is everyone will take a turn to place one of their people on the island. So green goes, yellow goes, blue goes, red goes. Then it's back to green. Then it's back to yellow, and then it's back to blue, and then it's back to red. And then eventually the island will be filled up, a bit like this. As you can see, the setup resembles this. It's 1 person per hex. Okay, once all the players have been put out their people, they also have 2 boats which they have to place out, so everyone takes a turn to place their 2 boats. As you can see, the numbers are hidden. So nobody knows where your number 6s are, where your number 1s are, and your number 2s or whatever. Only you know, but you've got to memorise all that. Okay. Oops. Now setup is complete and we're ready to play. Now, there are 4 phases on your turn. 4 phases. Very simple. The first phase is play a red tile if you have one. I will go into what a red tile is later. Second phase is you have 3 points of movement. Now, that means that you can move 1 person 3 spaces, or you can move 3 people 1 space each, or you can move 1 person 2 spaces, 1 person 1. This also includes boats. But if you have a man in the water, he can only ever move a maximum of 1 space. So 3 movement points, however you choose. Third phase is you will remove a tile from the board. You will start with the sand tiles. Once the sand tiles are gone, you will start with the forest tiles. And once the forest tiles are gone, you start with the mountain tiles. Now, it's very simple. You remove a tile. There will either be a red tile or a green tile. A green tile is play immediately. So what will happen there is a shark will come immediately into that space. A red tile is a tile that you can hold in your hand. As I said, it's phase 1. You can play a red tile. So that would go into your hand, or the green one you play immediately. Fourth phase. You will take the dice, you will roll it, and see which monster moves. In this case, a shark. If there are no sharks on the board, you can't move a shark. Obviously there's the sea monsters, and there's also the whales. Okay? Let's explain. A sea monster can move 0 or 1 space when you roll the dice. He will eat a boat and a person if it is in that space, or all people that are in that space. So if there were 3 people on the boat, all 3 of them will be eaten. A shark can move 0 to 2 spaces, and he only eats swimmers. And the whale can move 0 to 3 spaces, and he destroys boats, dropping people into the water. Nasty, hey? After that, it goes to the next player, and they start with phase 1. Now let me explain the tiles. The red tiles first. They're very simple. When you pick a red tile up, it goes immediately into your hand, hidden, so nobody can see what it is. Then you can use these on the start of your turn. You can only play 1 tile at a time, one tile a turn, and the tiles consist of these. These 3 tiles are certain monsters can move anywhere on the board. So you take a monster, move it anywhere. These 2 tiles means that you can kill a shark or a whale when someone moves it into your space with one of your people in the water, and you can kill them. These 2 are beneficiary. You play them at the start of your turn, and if you have a swimmer who cannot get back onto land because they're in the water, he can move 3 spaces with the help of a dolphin. And this here is a favourable wind which pushes a boat of your choice 3 spaces in your direction. So that's the red tiles. What about the green tiles? These are the green tiles. When these are turned over, they are played immediately. So a whale, a shark or a boat is immediately placed in the space where that tile was taken. Simple. So you add more and more monsters to the board. This is a whirlpool, and obviously a whirlpool will just suck in everything in its space and any of the surrounding spaces. This is the volcano. This is on the mountain, obviously, and this will signal the end of the game, which means that any person still on the island, still in the water, are immediately dead, and then you just count the points on your surviving survivors who have survived this survival horror. The Island is a board game that everybody should buy for their parents, so when they go for lunch they can play this game and seek their revenge on their parents by doing nasty things to them. This game is fantastic. If you don't own it, go and get it, because it is simple. The fact that this was first printed in 1982 and it's been reprinted now and it still holds up as a fantastic game. It doesn't take long to play, 45 minutes. The component quality is fantastic, from the tiles, which are thin sand tiles, thick forest tiles, to mountainous mountain tiles. The symbolic monsters, the sharks, the insert for the box, everything just holds beautifully. The artwork is lovely. That is in itself fantastic. The game is evil though. You cannot play this game friendly like. No way in hell. Because, oh, I'm sorry, I dropped you in the water. I didn't mean to. Oh, sorry, I have to move the shark onto your space. No. You have to be nasty. Okay, randomness, the niceness of the map being random at the beginning of the game. You can put the tiles anywhere you want. Fantastic. The randomness of the dice, which monster moves at the end of the turn. The randomness of what's hidden underneath your tile. Is it a shark that appears, a whale that appears? Yeah, it's randomness, but there is strategy as well. Now let me explain. I showed this game to my family, and I had my mum and my dad play against, not play against, but I had my mum and my dad, my sister and a friend. Now, there was a team formed. My friend and my sister teamed up and they were helping each other. Now, let me explain what I mean by helping each other. If you're on a boat, you have control of the boat. No one else can control that boat. If there's no one on the boat, everybody can control that boat. If there's one of each person on the boat, they can, both players, the yellow and the red, can move that boat. But if there are two yellows and a red, the red player cannot move that boat. It's only the yellow. So the yellow has to do all the work and then helps the red get their person to safety. Now, as I was saying, my sister and my friend teamed up and they were helping each other and they were sabotaging my mum and my dad. My mum and dad were getting very, very angry at this and big words were starting to come, and my mum and dad decided that they were going to team up, but that didn't work, and more big words flew across the table and angry shouts and, oh, what did you do that for? Ah! I was laughing my pants off. So was my friend and my sister, until the end of the game when my friend decided to sabotage my sister and kill off a few of her people. She was not happy. Big words came from her mouth. At the end of the game, I thought there was gonna be a horrendous argument. But as soon as the points were counted, everyone just laughed and said, what a fantastic game. Now, thematic. The game is extremely thematic. The island is seeking, it's evident. The island, you remove a tile, remove a tile, remove a tile. They're your people, you've got to get them to safety. It's simple, it's simple. The only thing I'd say this game needs is a player aid, because people forget what they're doing on their turn. 4 stages, very simple, but for remembering, oh, some people forget to remove a tile. If you just had a little card that said, play a red tile, move 3 movements, take a tile, move a monster. That would have been fantastic. But that is the only minuscule criticism I have about this game. This game is fantastic. If you don't own it, go and get it now. Okay, so summing up for the island. The island is a board game that everybody should be nasty.